My name is Steph, and these are my top 5 moments. Number 5. And I like that that stuck out for you too, because I remember you mentioning this in the episode when I rewatched it, and then you highlighted this as well. Was, what do you want from this? And you had said, I want more people to try yarn painting and start doing workshops and kind of creating kind of this community and making it bigger than just yourself. So what's changed from that, and why is that still just as important as it was when we spoke about it?
I would like more people to try it. I would love to go down in history as that one of those pioneers that helped uh, not create, but influence people to do a different art form. Yeah, so when we spoke about it, it was my idea. It was the concept to do, workshops and get people into it. And in this past year, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been going to schools, both elementary and high school. I've been working with like neurodivergent teens. I've been working with, prison reform programs, all just doing workshops. So it's just different types of people and introducing them to this new medium and seeing how not everyone loves it initially, but everyone
Hmm.
finds their voice through it. Everyone does things that makes me think, oh man, like I didn't see that. I'm the yarn art guy, and I didn't even think of doing it this way. I didn't even think that you could put those colors together or whatever. So it's super satisfying. Like I'm telling people that at the end of my at the tail end of my engineering work, I would wake up kind of stressed, like kind of panicky, just like I'm not in the right place. And the days, especially for the workshop days, where I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna inspire someone today. Like it's so awesome. And then at the end, especially with the elementary school students who are very emotional when they do art, oh, that yarn art guy, you're gonna
Yeah.
come back. Like, oh, thank you so much. Like the satisfying, like how satisfying that is great.
Number 4.
So looking back on pictures of myself, I saw how my display was. Everything was laid down on a table. The lights
Mm,
were minimal. It was a dark space. So those are the actionable steps that I made to make it better. I had a full year of markets and art shows to improve myself. So that's exactly what I did. I had display racks, so everything was
yeah.
upright. I had more lighting. Uh, I was doing a piece in person. Like I was working
Yeah.
with my good old friend,
The
the
hot
old
wax.
wireless glue gun.
You're burning that shit up
So
again.
on the move, boom, boom. So every like that draws people that, oh, what's he working on? It draws people
Yeah.
in to display the professionalism in it. Oh, this guy's
Hmm.
legit. It's not some guy doing their hustle. It's a business here. So let me walk into the store. So it was things like that that really are changes that I made. I think there are things that are uncontrollable that changed as well.
Yeah.
So now, year two, we're so much more removed from COVID, where maybe people were hesitant to come speak with you closely because even though art, the art has to sell them, it's still a sales process. So I have to sell you on myself. So if I'm not able to speak with you, how can I do that? So I think that was a factor.
Yeah.
I had also a variety of prices. It wasn't just $300-400 pieces. There was 30, 50. My
Yeah.
dad joke book is always a good thing to have. A $10 thing that you could just support the cause and
Walk
have a
away
little
with.
laugh. So it's understanding, you know, all these little factors that come together. So
Hey, you had
now
said
year
something.
two,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, year two was awesome, because knowing these things, I applied it. Obviously, having a little bit of luck, little bit lower expectations, and I came out and boom, boom, boom. First day, half of one of my racks was sold, and I was like, okay, like this is a 3-day event where we're about to go off, and it's still kind of how we spoke about um, this too shall pass. Like the highs or the lows, don't get too caught up on it. It was okay. This is going well on Friday. Doesn't guarantee anything for Saturday. It doesn't guarantee anything for Sunday, and the days flowed, but my priority was just making genuine connections, letting people learn about me, and it worked out in that sense.
Number 3. And I love the message too. Like try new endeavors, try new creative endeavors, because we always think at times, it's about money, it's about making money, but I think there's that connection too, that as a human being, like we all have some sort of output that we need to find. Is it through sports? Is it through art? Is it through whatever it is? But it's something that makes you want to be creative, wants to be curious. That was the word that stuck out to me when you said it, was like stay curious in something and dive in deep. Would you say that's still something that's just as important to you? And how do you pass on, if so, how do you pass along that message for people to kind of connect with that?
Yeah. The way I've been explaining it during the workshops is that we all understand that we need to have some kind of physical activity that we like, because the more you can stay active, the better it is for your body. Now, do you like lifting weights? Do you like playing basketball? Do you like swimming? Well, when you find that thing, that will help your physical health so much because you enjoy it, so you'll be consistent with it. So
Yeah.
my thought process with creativity is for your mental health. For your mental health, you need to find something that makes you think, makes you be introspective, makes you, explore things you haven't thought before. So whether that's art, visual art, dancing, reading, writing, whatever it might be, there needs to be something that gets you a little introspective, a little creative, a little different, and you'll see how it helps your mental health. Like, you'll realize there's creative solutions to all the problems in your life. So it's finding that thing that you like to practice that creative muscle. So it's not going to be painting for everyone, it's not going to be basketball for everyone, it's going to be something. And it's in trying the different things and finding what you like is where you latch onto that, and then you take it to is extreme, to help you mentally.
Number two.
So I understand that it only takes you meeting one person that introduces you to another person that invites you to events, and is like a domino effect, like, I know our business is really transactional in a sense of like, I give you a service, you give me your time. I give you a service, you give me your
Hmm.
money. But what underlines all of that is people, So like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting money, but I'm getting money from a person who went to work and did their thing. Like, they had their whole life that led them to this moment. So I'm very cognizant of how, like, we're interconnected. Like, you wouldn't have this podcast if people, didn't watch it, didn't create the camera, didn't create the thing. Like, so yes, it's, physical things and abstract concepts, but it all comes down to people. So I'm very
Yeah.
aware of that. So I like to put myself in positions where I can meet the next person that I could, either help them, or they help me, because both of those are beneficial. So an example of that was this past 2 weeks, I went to Toronto for a show, and that was
Hmm.
one of those situations where I was like, maybe this isn't the right show for me, because it's not an art show. It
Hmm.
was the home show. It was, if you're looking for like
Yeah.
siding for your walls or redo your deck or whatever, that's why you
You're
go
like, what the
there. But I
fuck?
was like, you know what? I was like, let me
You
put
there with your
myself in
glue
front
gun?
of people. Yeah, well, fuck. My thought process
You
was
fix it.
really like, yo, bro, if you could spend $30,000 on a new jacuzzi, you could spend $200 on some nice art to go with you,
Why not add? Number one.
Well, I mean, I'm one of those people who believes, you take people's advice so that you don't live the same mistakes. And the one that we hear all the time is, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So I'm not trying to make the same mistakes in
Hmm.
my own life. So I like to, where I can, reflect a lot, like I said, journaling, podcasting, even video creation, I like to look at my old
Hmm.
reels and be like, oh, that worked, that didn't work, that was funny, that was cringy. What am I going to do with it?
So look, what I asked you to do, and what was fun about this project is, instead of me picking out moments that I felt, how do you feel about this? Now, I asked you to pick out some moments, and so what I did is I compiled some of that stuff together, put it here in a video kind of montage. We're doing some sports stuff here. This is like, pardon the interruption, name an ESPN show, or a TSN show, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into each one, and then we're gonna call it play by play. What was going on, what's changed, what's happened. So the first one we spoke about, or the first one that kind of brought, like that I saw was a moment, and you saw it too, was your experience of the event that you had in New York City. And the one thing that we had asked, like what's different from now, and you said that things changed, from the year prior, and that you'll talk about it. But I mean, before we jump into that moment, why was that important to you?
I mean, I think that was one of my biggest experiences in the sense of opportunities, but then
Mm,
having experienced it, maybe letdowns, just because I had set the bar so high. So it was important for me to express that to people who might follow me on Instagram and appreciate my vulnerability, but also to do it again the following year and show that, just because you get knocked down, you make sure to get back up, you keep pushing and see what you can learn from it. And that's exactly what happened this past year when I went to New York again.